On to our interview for this evening. An unfortunate incident involving a medical gadget confined him to a hospital ward for weeks and physically consigned him to the sidelines of the charged national political arena. But Gatundu South Member of Parliament Moses Kuria never shut down the engines, using his recuperation days to, among other things, conduct a survey on next year's presidential elections.
In findings now widely shared on social media platforms, MP Kuria projects a tight race between Deputy President William Ruto and ODM's Raila Odinga, with his odds favoring Odinga to beat Ruto in a two-horse race. And in a wide-ranging interview with Citizen TV's Sam Gituku, Kuria rejected the clamor by Ruto's UDA party that like-minded parties should fold up and join UDA. The second-term chaos in Jubilee Party and fears of an imperial presidency makes the UDA proposition untenable. That's
right. Moses Kuria was interviewed just before he left the country for specialized treatment abroad. Here now, Sam Gituku inside Moses Kuria's voting booth. We'll leave you with that. See you back here next week.
That's right. See you next week.
Same place. Enjoy the interview.
Thank you so much for staying tuned to Citizen TV, and it's time now we want to speak to Honorable Moses Kuria, who is the Member of Parliament for Gatundu South. He has also been said to be the leader of a new party, Chama cha Kazi. He'll be talking about that. But lately he has been under the weather. He has been in hospital, going through some treatment. To be talking about that. But also he has come out and spoken about matters politics, including his preference for who he thinks should be considered for running mate from the Mount Kenya region. Honorable Moses Kuria, it's good to see you today and in good health. What looks like. So maybe you can begin by telling us how you're feeling now, because the last time we spoke to you in an exclusive manner, you were still in hospital.
Yeah, much better, really. You know, given the injuries that I got, the burns that I got, it's just a question of time. You know, just have to, you know, follow the doctor's procedures. You know, continue following, taking, you know, the prescriptions by the doctors and giving it time and lots of resting required. You know, which I'm privileged to be getting a lot of rest and care now at home with my family. So. I thank God. Really have much more improvement than from when I last talked to Citizen TV.
For how long were you in hospital?
Cumulatively from 23rd of September until a week ago. So we can say it's close to a month and a half in hospital. I think all in all it was 40 days.
What is the next phase of treatment according to the advice from the doctors?
Now I've been asked to go for some specialized tests, not really treatment, but tests, post-healing tests, which I'm going to go out of the country and, you know, spend quite some time there, also relaxing. And I look forward to being back on my 2 feet fully in the beginning of 2022.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What are those tests?
So what we say in football is I'm out for the rest of the season.
But what are those tests?
Normally, you know, after you go through this kind of injury, there is a risk always, that maybe nerves, maybe some tissues may be affected, just for abundance of caution, really, nothing, you know, very serious.
And I've seen you walking with very measured steps, and you look like you have some specialized shoes. How is this, and what is the impact of this injury to your normal walking?
Well, I'm not yet fully healed. I mean, that's a fact. So these shoes, which I call my designer shoes, designed by a gentleman called Mark Nyacheo from Borabu in Nyamira County. So I call him my Giorgio Armani. So they are meant to assist in my, you know, to reduce the pressure on the injury areas. And these are my shoes for the rest of the year, really.
For how long can you stand as of now, even with the shoes?
No. Yesterday I had a meeting pretty much the whole day with my aspirants and officials from from my party, Chama cha Kazi. The whole day, we had a whole day conference. And, you know, half of that time, I probably was on my feet.
All right, and I wish you all the best as you get into the next phase of healing.
Thank you.
And let's talk about politics, because you're now talking about Chama cha Kazi, and you've done so for the past quite a number of weeks now. The last time we saw you, you were propelling a candidate of PEP, People's Empowerment Party.
Yes.
How did you make that transition to now Chama cha Kazi?
You see, there was deliberate, you know, People's Empowerment Party is an old party. Yeah, it was an old party. It was there before. It was once run by my friend Maina Jenga. It was then handed over to Gigi Kariuki. And then before it was handed over to the current officials who ran the party. And when these officials invited me to join them in the party, I was happy, because I said that because I have got some ideals and some values and some objectives that can only be achieved by a party that I run closely. I thought that I found a home. But later there was a lot of interference, one from people who used to run the party before, two from, you know, all sorts of, you know, busybodies within politics, with a view to destabilize me. That's when I decided.
Who are those busybodies?
Well, let me just say that I'm a person of interest in politics. And every time I am running a party, that is likely to destabilize some equations here and there. So, especially because of our win, the first time that after I took the party was to try to win MCA seats in Murang'a, and I did, and I won. I won in Murang'a in a place called Gaturi with the PEP. Then I went to Juja, and I won an MP seat. So I had, to the credit of in the silverware of the party, of PEP, I had MP and an MCA within a period of 5 months. You know, that's, you know, you have seen.
And with all that success, you still left for Chama cha
well,
Kazi?
because, you know, I thought that if I am not feeling completely comfortable, you know, what's the point? And, you know, we have got a bigger battle ahead, which is 2022. So I thought that the best thing is really that to pack that victory there, because I'm still the same person.
So
why I won is because I know how to win elections.
Right.
Yeah.
So what are you at Chama cha Kazi?
Chama cha Kazi, I'm the designate party leader. And I'm saying designate because, you know, I'm still a nominal member of Jubilee until the 9th of February.
Nominal means?
Nominal means that I'm in transit. My heart is not there. Yeah? And I'm not alone, Sam. I'm not alone.
But are you still supporting the Jubilee Party in terms of subscriptions, and what are the roles you're?
Nope.
And now there's talk.
It's over between me and Jubilee Party.
When is that day that you make that walk?
That walk happens on the 9th of February. 9th of February. Because that is a date which we are allowed to take a walk, as per the law and as per the Constitution.
There is word that there will be a national delegates conference of the Jubilee Party, and part of the agenda is said that it will be to consider expelling some of the members that have since moved on to other political parties and political persuasions. How are you dealing with this news? Well,
I hope that that happens after 9th of February, because why bother? And there's a window. The transfer window opens officially on the 9th of February 2022. So it looks to me very absurd. That makes sense to me, what Jubilee is trying to do. So
what is the ideological persuasion of Chama cha Kazi that you hope to join officially 9th Feb?
No, the first thing that I'm attracted to Chama cha Kazi, first of all, is our policy and our orientation towards growing young leadership. That's one of the main reasons why people are asking me, why are you not doing it in Jubilee, or people, why are you not doing it in UDA? This is not a cliche. This is not something I say for politics. If you look at the young leader who was elected MCA for Gaturi, with practically zero experience, I really want to dedicate the rest of my life in politics to developing young leaders, yeah, and also helping professionals, people who always say politics is a dirty game, to de-risk politics. I call it de-risking politics. I come from banking background, and risk is a very important element within banking. And there's something called de-risking when now you look at factors that mitigate the risk. I want to de-risk politics. I want to make politics a less risky affair for young people who say, I am not confident of myself. And for professionals who say, politics is a dirty game. Because that's why things are going haywire in this country.
You released some findings recently that show that it's likely to be a two-horse race between Raila Odinga and William Ruto, with quite a chance for Raila Odinga to win. So eventually, where will Moses Kuria and Chama cha Kazi lie?
First of all, let's talk about my analysis and vis-a-vis Chama cha Kazi. I have been the chief data analyst in the last 4 presidential elections.
What do you mean with that?
Yes.
Chief data analyst?
Yeah, I mean, like in 2007, I was there analyzing data for Kibaki in the Kibaki Presidential Secretariat. In 2013 and 17, alongside other great data scientists like Johnson Sakaja, we were the engines behind analyzing what is going to happen. Some other people are going up there jumping about tyranny of numbers. That was my creation. I mean, very few people could tie my shoelaces in terms of data analysis. That's my trade.
I thought I first heard of tyranny of numbers from Mutahi Ngugi.
Mutahi was a mouthpiece. Mutahi was only the deliverer. He was only the waiter. We were the real chefs of the tyranny of numbers. You can ask this from Johnson Sakaja. We were the real people behind the numbers. I've done numbers for donkey years.
So what are the numbers telling you?
So, by the way, every time I do numbers, I'm very loyal to numbers. Very loyal to numbers. Even those elections I've won because of fidelity to data. And there's nothing that, that makes me unhappy than people who cook numbers or who cook figures. And I can smell cooked figures from 10 kilometers away.
So what is that methodology used? Because for the credibility of your research to be in the eyes of the public, what is that methodology you're using?
First of all, it is based on realism. The first thing you do, and that's where people get it wrong in this country. We want to have one country, granted, no problem. We want to have a country run by, a politics run by ideologies and all that. Granted, that is, who wouldn't want that? But the reality is, we have got also some demographics. For example, let's take like ethnic blocks. It's a reality. During the day, we'll say, we want one country, we don't want ethnicity. But ethnicity plays a role in our politics. So you start with that one. And I remember in 2013, Sam, the first time I created zones for purposes of data. And I did a story that was run in the Star newspaper by a friend of mine called Oliver Madenge. And Uhuru Kenyatta was very mad at me. He said, you are zoning this country. All we did from that time, from 2007, is to zone this country. And I have got 11 demographic zones. That if you look at Mount Kenya as a region, they have got tendency of voting the same way. You take Luo Nyanza, they have got a tendency of voting the same way. You take the 5 counties of Western, 4 of Western plus Trans Nzoia. Again, even if you look at members of parliament, you look at counties of Kajiado, Samburu and Narok. You take a county like Turkana, which is a cluster by itself, because it does not vote like any other cluster in this country. So you need to go back to history, and I have gone back to all the elections since 1992 to be able to validate and verify that these structures exist. That's number one. 2, once you validate that is the way the 11 clusters are, then I use mobile technology to conduct opinion polls, based now on that cluster.
How many people did you call?
Well, we can say normal polls are up to 2,000. It's not about calling, by the way. I use a technique that is based on what we call USSD technology. Because the problem with calling also, it has got its own problem. People will tell you what they think you want to hear. So
you sent out text messages and people responded?
Correct. That's correct.
And how
and by the way,
how do you even identify who to send a message to? Because there are so many voters in this country, 19.6 million as of 2017 registered.
The mechanism of reaching the actual voters from those particular areas. Let me not go beyond that because of some privacy issues. So I have got my technology, and by the way, for transparency purposes, that is how I won in Murang'a, in Gaturi. That is how I won in Juja. Even people who work with me. And that's how even, remember I was helping UDA party in Kiamba. And even the guys in UDA, they know that that's how I won. They know that my technology is tried.
But Honorable Kuria, I'm confused because you're saying you're getting feedback from the actual voters, but also saying that you use that to win. So I thought you win through persuasion and influence.
No. What you do, winning elections nowadays is nothing about microphone. Yeah, it's not about shouting there on the stage. Yeah, it's not about crowds that you pull. It's about precision targeting of the voter. Do you know we have become very advanced in our politics and people don't know? That is why, you know, you hand up people, hey, this guy had big crowds out there.
So you target them and tell them what?
You see now, how you combine data science and campaigning is, if you do data science continuously, data science will point to you areas you need to improve. Because this is how Obama won. I've been following the two Obama wins. So, yeah, this is how Mr. Trump won. And people are wondering, how did Trump win?
So with your projections, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, that you say that there's a higher chance, a better chance for Raila Odinga than William Ruto.
My analysis came up with two scenarios. And the first scenario is a four-horse scenario. If you ask me realistically, and I could be wrong, is that we have got 4 potential presidents in this country.
And they are?
Barring the sun and high seas, yeah? We're going to have either Raila Odinga, William Ruto, Kalonzo Musyoka, or Musalia Mudavadi. So anybody telling you that anyone out of these 4 characters has got any realistic chances, it is there, but it is what you call one out of maybe 10 million or 100 million in terms of chances. So then I put 2 scenarios. Scenario number 1 is that all of them get to the ballot. And I saw what my data proved to me is that if the 4 guys get all the way to the ballot, then what is going to happen is that none will get to 50+1. Yeah, Kalonzo will eat away largely from Raila Odinga. Musalia will eat largely from Raila Odinga, and William Ruto will be ahead of the pack, so he'll be the leader, but really quite not with 50+1 that is required to, you know, to get a clear win in the first round. Right. So now we get into the second round. So what now the 2-horse race was in the event that now we come from the first round and transition into the second round, who is going to benefit from who, from what? And you know, and what I found out is that, what my data showed me, what my science told me is that William Ruto will benefit from quite some fallout from Kalonzo's voters, but not enough. So around 40% of Kalonzo's first round voters will vote for William Ruto in the second round, but 60% will vote for Raila Odinga. I found out that even in cost, which is very surprising, because that's a Raila Odinga zone really, historically, but in the runoff, and even in the first round, there's going to be a tie, 50-50 tie between Raila Odinga and William Ruto, and so on and so on. In the feared and much hyped Mount Kenya region, the vote was very generous to William Ruto at 70%. And no matter how much he tries, I don't see Raila Odinga getting beyond 30% of Mount Kenya vote. Well, that is 300% increase for him because he's never had it anyway. But remember, that put him at that's 10 counties, including Nakuru. Right. Including Kiambu, which have got quite cosmopolitan population. But the 10 counties of Nakuru, Laikipia, the entire central province as you know it, Meru, Embu and Tharaka Nithi, even in 2017, Raila Odinga had 300,000 votes from that area. And so by saying he's going to get 1.3, he's just saying that his friends who are working with him here and there are going to
bring in some
to bring in some, at least 1 million votes.
Okay. So knowing this, and you have associated yourself with the deputy president and the hustlers narrative, I don't know whether that has changed, but knowing what data is telling you, so what are you going to do? How are you going to use it moving forward?
Right now, I am just a public commentator when it comes to presidential elections. So
you haven't chosen a side?
my preference is to work with the Deputy President. He's my friend. We work together. We've suffered together, my friend. Do you know that the transport committee in the National Assembly is a very powerful committee that determines where to put roads in this country, where to put airports, where to put ports, maritime, blue economy. Do you know I was the vice chair of that committee? Do you know why I'm not the vice chair anymore? Because of my association with William Ruto. Do you know the budget and appropriation committee, which I was very proud of? I was appearing on your TV and other public fora to comment about the economy and our debt and our fiscal situation. Because since I put my foot in Parliament, I have been a member of the budget committee. Do you know what? I was removed from that committee. Why? Because I'm a friend of William Ruto. And by the people talk about deep state. Who is supposed to be more deep state than Moses Kuria?
What do you mean?
Well, that is how Kenyan politics works. I am the member of Parliament for Uhuru Kenyatta, the president. So literally, I was thrown out of government.
How do you join the deep state in that sense?
No, well, there's something called proximity, joined by proximity, yeah, and assumption even, yeah, and perception, yeah. So I am not in government. For me to do something, to get things done in government, I have to try very hard, because people who are associated with William Ruto are perceived to be in the opposition. It was my desire, it was my wish that I continue working with William Ruto. And I hope that opportunity will present itself at some point. But for the time being, William Ruto has said clearly that if you want to work with him, then you have to join the only national party, which is UDA. And leave all other...
with, what do you mean with that?
Well, that is his view. And that is the view of the people of UDA. Me, if you ask me, I will still claim the silverware of PEP, because it was really, the party I was leading.
So what are your options now? Because he says that dissolve your party, join me.
Right now I'm very busy. Sam, and I'll tell you what I'm busy with. I'm very busy with putting a machinery that is going to win a lot of parliamentary seats. Okay? I am very busy with ensuring that a lot of MCAs are elected on Chama cha Kazi, especially young people, and especially women. Yeah? I am very busy ensuring that we get a lot of governors elected on Chama cha Kazi ticket.
Where is your main target base?
It's all over the country, but really, there are some areas where we will have advantage more than other areas. But that will shock you.
You said something that, let me put it, you are an associate member of the deep state, and therefore, because this is a very controversial topic, including Governor of Nyandarua, Francis Kimemi, alluded to it, and people have said some of the ills the country faces is because of, quote unquote, the manipulation of the deep state. So what role and what responsibility do you take for having been part of that deep state
during our time,
since you joined Parliament?
Deep state was for keeping government steady. Deep state were people who would sit and say, which is the best way to support the president and to support the government to deliver on its objectives. And clearly you can see, so there's deep state 1 and deep state 2. When we were deep state 1, things were right. Things were working. You can see when deep state was used, because you can use deep state for the right reason.
So
that is a positive.
If you're to work with the next president or a political party that eventually wins the election, whether it's William Ruto or whoever else you choose eventually, how will you ensure that you do it so differently so that you don't suffer what you've suffered this time?
That's a very good question, Sam Gituku. And that's exactly why I'm actually getting a chill when people try to say we all get into one party. Because why BBI collapsed was because of some illegalities in the process. But nobody really can question over 70% of the things that were in BBI. I was opposed to BBI because of the illegality of the process. But some of the things that the BBI was trying to bring is sort of checks and balances against an imperial presidency. The biggest danger now we face going to the next election is an imperial presidency. It is possible we can have a president who gets rogue, who can, even, send his MPs and his henchmen against anybody who is performing, whether it is any of the 4 candidates, whether it's Kalonzo Musyoka, I see that danger. Whether it is Musalia Mudavadi, I see that danger. Whether it is Raila Odinga, I see that danger. Whether it's William Ruto, I see that danger. So having parties having coalitions is one of the ways of mitigating against imperial presidency, against impunity, against somebody waking up because you have the president and you have the powers, thinking you can do things that we have seen happen in this country in the past. So I really do hope. And people are trying to tell me, oh, you know, you guys are trying to blackmail other parties, UDA, I don't know, ODM and what, to a pre-election coalition. Personally, I'm not looking for pre-election coalition with anyone. And I'm not faulting anyone. I am not a crybaby.
What are you looking for?
We are going to have a strong party. And I'm going to take my case to the people in the new year. Yeah? I'm going to take my case to the new people and tell them, look here, guys, irrespective of whom you vote for president, we need to have checks and balances. We need to have, because now the BBI is not the checks and balances, political parties and coalition are what is going to ensure that we put our agenda on the table, another party puts its agenda on the table, and together we have our voice count and our voice heard. It will take time, Sam. I have been warned. I have been receiving...
Honorable Kuria, I'm just wondering, because in 2013, it was a coalition of TNA, URP, and so many other parties. Then come 2016 September, they were all collapsed into forming Jubilee Party, but still there were some coalitions.
The proof,
so this is a formula that has been tried and failed.
The proof not failed. The proof of the pudding is in the eating. Compare the first government and the second government. Compare 2013-17 with 17-22. 13-17, there was largely mutual respect. Yeah, there was largely consultation. Since we collapsed this party into one Jubilee, see what has happened. The deputy president has been reduced to actually, you know, somebody who wakes up and looks for some work to do because his duties has been taken away. Now, do. Would this have happened in 2013-17? Would it have happened? Because the TNA, URP, sort of New Ford Kenya, it creates some sort of what we call parity.
So for you...
some balance of power, some which necessitates, even why we have the 50+1, yeah, is to necessitate consultation and concurrence on many issues. So what we have actually, the best litmus test, the best test of what would happen if all of us were to fold our parties and to join one party is exactly what has happened from 2017 to date, whereby now it is my way or the highway. So that is the real danger facing us, and it has been tried and tested.
So you're not voting?
I am not voting. I am not voting. In terms of voting parties, I'm not voting.
I want to take you back to the frustrations of the deputy president that you referred to in the second term. Recently, when you left hospital, you came out and said that you've looked around and you think that Honorable Martha Karua, former Justice Minister and the party leader of NARC Kenya, should be considered for a running mate position. What informs this stand that you've taken, and have you spoken to her about this?
That's a good question. If you have watched Kenyan politics since 2016, and you go and Google Moses Kuria and Martha Karua in the same sentence, what will come out is that at one time I made some statements in Mount Elgon about how the deputy president ended up at The Hague, and I mentioned Martha Karua among others, and Martha Karua took me to court, and she won a libel case against me, and she was awarded costs. At one point, she was auctioning me. She was even auctioning me. So whatever I say about Martha Karua, you cannot say she's my cup of tea. I mean, we have had differences, you know. So whatever I said about Martha Karua should be seen in that context of somebody I don't even agree with. But I want to be remembered after my life as somebody who was true to my word and true to my principles and true to what I felt was good, not for me, but for this country.
So have you spoken to her about this? And is it even something she'd be interested in?
I've spoken to Martha. You remember we are in Mount Kenya Unity Forum with Martha Karua, Mwangi Kionjori, my good friend William Kabogo and other people. And I have told Martha that I feel that she should be deputy president. And she asked me why. I told her, one, because there's an overwhelming feeling in this country that even to have a new awakening, that maybe us from Mount Kenya region need to take a back step and see how another community can learn this country and to support, willingly support somebody from another region, which I think it is marvelous. It's a great thing for our democracy. Yeah, that the Mount Kenya region, 5.3 million ongeza juzi. So we're now at 6 million just within those 10 counties. I'm not even looking at the diaspora. Then we get to around 8 million voters saying we are not going to vote for Moses Kuria or for somebody else for president. We are going to vote for Raila Odinga.
Moses Kuria, I would have to calculate that because IBC just said the other day that 1.4 million registered voters, new voters were registered across the country. So I don't know how you arrive at 700,000 coming from the 10 counties of Mount Kenya.
We can do those maths, my friend. We can do those maths.
But I'm just wondering...
It's neither here nor there, but if you add the diaspora vote, the people from Mount Kenya descent, who are in Coast, who are in Uasin Gishu, who are in Bungoma, who are in Kisumu, who are in Kakamega, who are in Garissa and all other places, it is not far-fetched, you know.
Honorable Karua has been on record saying that she'd want to lead Kirinyaga County, and serving Kirinyaga County is serving Kenyans. So when you come to suggest this, is this something that she would warm up to?
Well, I think Mother Karua, even when she had the event in Kilugwea the other day, she came out very clearly. And I support her. Deputy presidency is not a seat you vie for. Otherwise, even me, I would vie for it. Yeah, I am qualified, and I believe I can marshal the votes to be deputy president. Deputy president is something you are asked by somebody else. Please be my running mate. You cannot force it. You cannot force yourself to be running mate to someone. The question is, what is within the control of Mother Karua now is to try and be the governor of Kirinyaga. She was there in 2017. She believes that she won, and whatever happened, happened. That we can't get into that because the courts have pronounced themselves on the matter. Right. But I think that Kirinyaga people have, now they have learned a lesson, and I think Kirinyaga people now believe that they could have had a better governor if they had elected Mother Karua to be governor. So, by the way...
Let me just cut it short. If you had to focus on the short history of joint tickets where they have a presidential candidate and a running mate, that is 2013 and 2017, the running mates are people that command, whether it's regional votes or whatever situation that may be under consideration. William Ruto bringing in his support base in 2013 and 17, Kalonzo Musyoka bringing in his support base in 2013 and 17. So in your analysis, has Martha Karua gotten herself a support base that would really say that she's bringing weight to the ticket?
And that's the real difference, Sam. That's the real difference between Mother and others. Remember, I could have easily said, I have got support base also. I can bring in votes, real votes. I could have proposed myself. If I was in UDA today and I asked William Ruto, please make me running mate, I will bring in a lot of votes. But there must be something more than votes. And I do believe that a government with Mother Karua as a deputy president, it brings in, for example, experience, a lot of experience. Someone has to be big enough to recognize when somebody has got something you don't have. Mother has got some experience I don't have. And I'm not saying that we don't give people without experience an opportunity. But why would all that experience go down with history? Yeah? Why would she needs maybe to tell us about Kofi Annan and about Serena Talks and about when she was Minister for Justice and about the clamor for the new constitution and about fight for multipartyism. That is experience. Experience is a treasure for this country. Once it disappears, we will look for it, we will not find it. I really hope that we can be able to tap into Mother's experience when she still has a vitality to be able to fight to this country. She has integrity. Mother, you can rest assured, whoever is president, well, things like corruption are going to be very difficult. Because Mother is going to be that eye that assures everybody that there's not going to be impunity, corruption, injustice, unfairness. And of course, it just happens. And I'm just saying,
Honorable Kuria, let us not make this a campaign pitch for Martha Karua.
No.
And it's also
you have asked me for the reason, and I've got solid reason. And the other reason, of course, is because maybe also we need to send a message to girls in this country that you can be what you dream. And by having a woman as a deputy president is what Americans are enjoying today. The message to young girls that you can dream and become.
All right, it's unfortunate we have to talk about Honorable Martha Karua, who is not on set to really express herself. But now that you raised the question, I'm just wondering, with the rich CV that you described that she comes with, when you look around, if it's the 4-horse race or the 2-horse race that you're talking about, where is it best that she joins in looking for the presidential ticket?
Well, I think, you know, that's the amazing thing with Mother Karua is that she fits in all, because she's coming in to cure a disease that is not with one person, it's with all persons. All these people are a risk to this country. I dare say without a risk of contradiction. Kalonzo Musyoka represents a risk. Musalia Mudavadi represents a risk. William Ruto represents a risk. Raila Odinga represents a risk. So the de-risking factor, the mitigating factor for all these four, when I look around, nobody can tie the shoelaces of Mother Karua in terms of de-risking, making people say, even if so-and-so tries to become rogue, even if so-and-so tries to take this country to dogs, at least there is somebody there, there is a safe pair of hands. You know, people asking in whose hands are we safe? In the hands of Mother Karua as a deputy president. Only that. The rest we are not safe. We are not safe with Ruto, we are not safe with Raila, we are not safe with Musalia, we are not safe with Kalonzo. We need a de-risking factor. We trust you, we love you, yes, but we need some more collateral.
Is she agreeable to this?
It's a discussion we are going to continue having, but I have told Mother, and Mother has been told by many people, this is not about you, this is about this country. This is a bigger calling. It's a bigger calling.
Honorable Moses Kuria, just before you fell ill and got to hospital, there's something you're championing at the Mount Kenya Unity Forum, and said that there will be a Limuru 3 declaration probably early next year. So as you travel out of the country, how do you sustain this vision going forward, and the ultimate decision? What are the characteristics of that decision?
I think this is not personal, so we are with other people. Mount Kenya Unity Forum is many people really, a lot of people, a lot of parties who are members of that. You are going to see, even when I'm away, you are going to see a lot of meetings, a lot of deliberations. We've set 22nd of February as a date for Limuru 3. I do believe that is still visible, that will happen. And what you can expect from Limuru 3 is, one, this is my suggestion, I'm going to put it on the table, that the region does front Mother Karua as a deputy president of whoever we decide to support. Two, I hope that by that time, the region can take a corporate decision in terms of, you know, which presidential candidate to support. And three, and most important, that we need to have our fair share of government commensurate with our numbers.
You actually said that 40% of government positions should go to Mount Kenya region. I am just wondering how you arrive at those numbers, because if you're to say 5.3 million voters in 2017, that's 28% of the entire electorate.
Yeah, because as I've said, that once you cast your eye to the diaspora, 40% is right on money, exact to the point. Yeah, so that is proven, that's tested. There's a reason that this is also from, look at the contribution of votes to Uhuru Kenyatta. Are you aware that Mount Kenya region contributed 84%? 84%.
Out of the 8 million? I am not certain about that, because
this is my, you know, the Valley data to me is what journalism is to Sam Gituku. So rather take that.
No, I'm not sure about that, because I think, I may be wrong, but about 4-point-something million votes is what came from Mount Kenya. That's 50%.
Are you aware that if you ask Joho, how many votes Joho had? Joho had like 300 something, 200 something. Are you aware that Uhuru Kenyatta had 100,000 votes in Mombasa County?
That is not what I'm saying. I'm saying what we can prove as of now is that at least 4 million votes came from the 10 counties you describe of Mount Kenya. That is 50%, not 84%.
Remember, even our cultural associations as Mount Kenya people, we have got branches. I remember I was one of the founder members of Gema Cultural Association. People know of Mount Kenya Foundation more than the Gema Cultural Association. I was a founder member with the late Jenga Karume, and we have got branches from all over the country. So we know, we have got our mechanism of, when we say this is something we can tell you. Do you know we had branches in Likuyani?
Honorable Moses
Do
Kuria,
you even know where Kuria is?
I have to dissociate those numbers from Citizen TV because we cannot authenticate them with evidence as of now. But let's move on and talk about the campaign rallies you've seen from different political leaders. If it's to talk about Deputy President William Ruto, Raila Odinga, or even the One Kenya Alliance and so many others, including recently that gathering at Githurai, is it flyover or underpass, where One Kenya Alliance were there and they're really pleased by the numbers. What do these numbers in rallies mean when it comes to the day of voting, if you have to reflect on history?
You know, for me it's a sad thing, Sam, that we have these numbers during working days. I've not seen anyone doing those rallies over the weekends, passing by Githurai over the weekend. It is always during working days. And for me, the Kenya Bureau of Statistics need not go far when they start measuring things about unemployment and about how we are doing bad as an economy. That even anyone need it. Raila Odinga passes by Githurai, there are crowds. William Ruto passes by Githurai, there are crowds. One Kenya Alliance passes by Githurai, there are crowds. I just wish that all these alliances, you know, also spend time to go and think, ask themselves, why are we able to get so many people come to listen to us during working days? It means these people are unemployed. It means these people have got no means of livelihood. It means in terms of opportunity cost. People find that they are better off coming to listen than doing something. Means that whatever else they'll be doing is paying less. Imagine where listening to someone pays more.
You want to tell me for you to attend such a meeting there's a
no,
well,
maybe entertainment value, not money value.
Okay.
Yeah? Imagine someone saying entertainment value of this meeting is much higher than the income I would generate from my kiosk. It's really a measure of how much work we have to do in this country. And do they really translate into votes? Let me tell you something that I've done some study of some of the recent meetings. The bulk of the voters, these meetings attract 10% of the voters, of the potential voters. 90%, if you don't use data science to ask yourself, the 90% that didn't come to Githurai, what are their real feeling? Utapata mshangao. People will be shocked on voting day. If you base your chances on these people who come out to shout and to scream and to cheer, 90% are at homes. 90% are making some decisions. 90% are quiet. And there's nothing I fear, me as a politician, than a silent voter.
What is Honorable Moses Kuria going for in 2022?
Well, right now, I'm going to vie for a position called the party leader of the dominant party in this country. Nikishinda hiyo, I'll be so happy.
Dominant party, which one is that?
Chama cha kazi.
You're not going for any elective seat?
As of now, no. My focus is to make other people win.
What will you be doing between
I'm a
2022 and
midfielder.
2027?
Huh?
What will you be
Running a
doing?
party, running a serious party, which is going to, I hope I'll have more than 10 governors under my party.
And Honorable Moses Kuria, as you fly out, I don't know that you want to disclose where you're going, but how will you keep in touch with Kenyan affairs?
Well, you know, the social media is vibrant. I hope not to keep so much in touch because my doctor will not be very happy. But I've got my system working. I've got my system, not the deep state system. I have my system working, and I'm very good in delegation and working with you.
So you won't say where you're going?
For the time being,
That's okay.
let it be between me and my doctor.
All right. Honorable Moses Kuria, thank you so much for making time for us and wish you all the best as you go for the next phase of, you said it's not treatment, it's healing. Wish you all the best in that. And also in your political journey, when you continue having these conversations. That has been Moses Kuria, Member of Parliament for Gatundu South. Back to you in studio. My name is Sam Gituku.